So, good morning everyone. I am J.N. Maala and this is the continuation of our report. So, the common size statement of profit or loss of Charm Corporation and Main Corporation are presented below. So, comparative common size statement of profit or loss for the year then ended December 31, 2019. So, meron tayo dalawang corporation dito, which is Charm Corporation and Main Corporation. Net sales for Charm Corporation is 100 and for Main Corporation is 100 also. Cost of goods sold is 80 for Charm and 33.3 for Main. Selling and administrative expenses na 5 for Charm and 16.7 for Main. Interest expense na 1.5 for Charm and 16.7 for Main. So, meron dito total of profit before income tax na 13.5 for Charm Corporation and 43.3 for Main Corporation. And income tax na 5.4 for Charm and 17.3 for Main. And the total of profit na 8.1% for Charm Corporation and 26% for Main. So, discussion. With the statement of profit or loss converted into common size, the effects of absolute peso amount have been ignored. It is now clearer to understand and rate the performance of the enterprise and its management in a given period. Interpreting the data in our common size statements of profit or loss in the preceding page, we could say that the overall Main Corporation performs better in terms of profit margin than that of Charm Corporation. Main Corporation is more efficient in controlling its cost of production, spending only 33.3% of net sales, thereby reporting a higher gross profit rate. Main Corporation is weak in controlling its operating expenses, accounting for a 16.7% shares of net sales compared to Charm's minimal na 1.5%. Spending to operating expenses. Main's management might as well look into ways on how it could reduce its operating expenses and still improve its profit margin. Also worth looking into the 13.3% sales return of Main Corporation, which could be diminished to improve quality. Charm Corporation's 80% share of cost of goods sold is devastatingly high. Much effort must be given to reduce the cost of production and improve the profit margin as a strong point. Charm Corporation manages its operating expenses better, accounting to only 5% of net sales, and uses leverage to its impressive operating advantage by incurring a minimal interest expenses of 1.5 of net sales, which is indicates advantage by incurring a minimal interest expense of 1.5 of net sales, which indicates lower financial risk and higher rate of return. Extending the analysis in our common size statements of profit or loss, it also gives us information on how the money coming from customers, example is net sales, is distributed among suppliers, employees, lessors, creditors, governments, and owners. Let us present the common size statement again and identify the cash inflow and cash outflow distribution thereof. So, common size analysis daw po is isang technique na ginagamit sa financial statement analysis kung saan lahat ng line items ay naka-percentage. In the case of profit or loss statement, this basis is typically net sales. So, sa pag-convert din daw ng traditional financial statements into common size format, ang absolute currency value daw po is dinidisregard, enabling easier comparison of financial differences or financial performances between companies regardless of their size. So, dito din daw pinagkukumpara yung efficiency of operations and cost management ng dalawang corporation, which is yung nasa given nga na si Charm Corporation and Main Corporation. So, dito, it suggests that Main Corporation is more effective at generating gross profit its operational cost detract from its overall performance. While kay Charm, although it's facing higher in production, namamanage niya ang other expenses ng mas maayos. So next, we have here a comparative common size statement of profit or loss for the year then ended December 31, 2019. So ito lang din ata yung kanina sa given natin. So meron tayo Charm and Main Corporation, money from or to. So, ayan yung table. Hindi ko na lang siya babasahin since andyan naman siya, provided naman siya. Tingnan na lang natin. So, in its more revealing meaning, the preceding common size statements of profit or loss shows how much cash was allocated for this position. Indeed, various parties are interested in business and their financial interests must be satisfied before return to owners are made. So, when applied to the statement of financial position, the vertical analysis base is the total asset, for example, is 100%. In the statement of profit or loss, the base is the net sales. In the statement of cash flow, the base may be the total cash available for use. So, ito. Itong si sales daw is mayroong 100%, pareho sila, si Charm and si Main Corporation, which is the base for calculating all other figures. While sa cost of goods sold, dito naman, naipapakita kung magkano yung na-spend ng bawat corporation sa production of the goods ng kanilang binebenta. So, yung kay Charm Corporation nga daw is nag-spend ng 80% of its net sales, indicating na high production cost. While yung kay Main Corporation daw is nakapag-spend lang siya ng 33.3% na nagpapakita lang na more efficient yung production or sourcing. Next is selling and administrative expense. So, yung mga expenses daw dito, kasama yung mga lahat ng nagastos sa pagbebenta ng product and sa pagmamanage ng business. For example nga is yung salaries, yung rent, salaries ng employees, rent, and utilities. So, yung kay Charm nga daw is meron siyang lower expenses na 5%. Yung kay Main naman daw is 16.7% na nagsasuggest ng tighter control over operational expenses. Next is interest expense, represents the cost of borrowing to the firm. Charm has a very low interest expense daw ng 1.5%, while yung kay Main naman daw is mas mataas na 16.7% na nag-i-indicate din ng higher debt levels or possibly higher interest rates faced by Main. So next is profit before income tax. Dito daw napapakita yung profitability ng bawat company bago yung accounting for income taxes. So, yung kay Charm nga daw is merong profit before tax na 13.5% of sales, while yung kay Main naman is much higher at 43.3% na nagbe-benefit from its lower cost of goods sold and despite of higher selling and administrative expenses. Next is income tax and net profit. Ito daw naman yung mga taxes paid and final profit after tax Charm has a net profit of 8.1%, while yung kay Main is higher at 26%. So next, meron tayo dito sample problem, common size statement of financial position using the same data in the same problem. 14.4, an example of vertical analysis is applied to a statement financial position follows. So, for David Corporation, statement of financial position, comparative analysis, as of December 31, 2019 and 2020. So, first is meron tayo ditong asset And yeah, cash and cash equivalents, meron tayong 3.92 sa 2019 and 5.22% for 2020. Trade and other receivables na 25.49 for 2019 and 25.22 for 2020. Inventories na 11.76 for 2019 and 8.70 for 2020. Long-term investment na 19.61 for 2019 and 19.13 kay 2020. Property and equipment net is 39.22 in 2019 and 38.26 for 2020. Other assets na 0 noong 2019 and 3.47 na 2020. So, meron tayong total assets na 100% for 2019 and 100% for 2020. So, liabilities and equity. Meron tayong trade and other payables na 29.41% ng 2019 and 5.22% kay 2020. Bond payable na 24.51 ng 2019 and 3.48 for 2020. Discount on bond payable na negative 0.20 kay 2019 and negative 0.16 kay 2020. Ordinary share capital na 30.39 for 2019 and 27.83 for 2020. Share premium na 19.61 kay 2019 and 19.13 for 2020. Retained earnings na negative 3.71 kay 2019 and 19.29 for 2020 with the total equities of 100% for 2019 and 100% for 2020. So, discussion, the asset structure of the business also almost remains the same except for the inventories, where it decreases by 3% in 2020 coupled by an increase in other assets. During 2020, the business has repackaged its financial structure by harnessing more equity than debt financing as evidenced by the 21.3% decrease in bonds payable with a 23.1% increase in the retained earnings. Essentially, it deprives the enterprise of the chance to use debt in maximizing the equity value. This situation would lead to a higher cost of capital, a lower return on equity, and decline in the valuation of the business. So, next is the financial mix ratio. In the horizontal trend and vertical analysis, each financial statement is considered. A standalone report, the truth is, these financial statements are interrelated and interlocked with one another. Example, information contained in the statement of the profit or loss are directly related with the information contained in the statement of financial position and mostly that of the statement of cash flow as shown in the diagram 14.1. So, look at this table. Ayan. Diyan napapakita yung mga relate nila sa isa't isa. So, sales daw po is naka-impact sa cash and table receivables on the balance sheets and are part of operating activities in the cash flow statement. Interest expense is related to bank payable on the balance sheets and falls under financial activities in the cash flow statements. Income tax affects deferred income tax and retained earnings on the balance sheet, and the related income tax affects deferred income. And the related cash flow are treated as operating activities but also a non-cash item in terms of deferred taxes. So, wait lang po, ayusin natin yung So, next po is meron tayong dito 4 na classification of financial mix ratio analysis. So, first is profitability ratio, next is growth ratio, liquidity ratio, leverage ratio. So, ito daw pong 4 na to is ginagamit para ma-evaluate ang different aspects of company's financial health. So, first nga is profitability ratio. Dito daw mini-measure kung gaano ka kaayos sa paggamit ng mga resources para makapag-generate ng profit. While sa growth ratio, this assess the growth in revenues and profits over time to gauge the company's expansion performance. Liquidity ratios evaluate how easily a company can pay off its short-term liabilities with its available assets. Sa leverage ratio, examine the extent of company's use of borrowed money and its ability to meet a financial obligation. Since the financial statements are fundamentally related, the information contained in one statement could be related to the information found in another. This is the essence of a financial mix ratio analysis. In computing the financial mix ratio, the amount used from the statement of profit or loss is the net figure. Example is net sales, while that from the statement of financial position is the average amount or average inventory. Profitability is the ability of the business to generate profit. So yung profitability ratio daw po is profitability is the ability of the business to generate profit. Profitability measures the ability of the business to generate profit in relation to sales, investments, assets, equities, or ordinary shares outstanding. Also covered in the profitability ratio as the gross profit rate or gross profit net sales and the operating profit ratio or operating profit or net sales. So, mahalaga daw itong mga ratio na to sa pag-assess ng overall financial health of a business and its efficiency in generating profits from its operation. So, investor and analysts use these ratios to compare the profitability of different companies regardless of size to track performance over time. So, next is profit margin or PM. The profit margin is computed as follows. Profit margin is equal to profit divided by sale. Profit divided by sale. So, this ratio measures the ability of the management to produce returns to owners for every peso at net sales. The return to owners happens after payments to merchandise suppliers, laborers, and employees, lessors, and other operating expenses providers. Financial creditors and government agencies are deducted from the net sales. An increase in the profit margin would mean an effective and efficient handling of all the costs and expenses incurred in the operating cycle. So, the profit margin daw po is, it shows how much of each dollar in revenue is converted into profit, indicating cost control and pricing strategies effectiveness. So, example is, if a company earns $200,000 in net income, is 1 million in revenue. Its profit margin would be 200,000 divided by 1 million times 100 is 20%. So, next is ROA is return on asset. Basically, the ROA is computed as follows. Return on asset equals to profit divided by asset. By deriving this equation, we can express that return on asset is equal to profit divided by sales times sales divided by asset equals profit margin times asset turnover. So, ito daw pong ROA na to is nakakatulong sa mga investor to gauge the assets efficiency of a company, showing how well management is using the company's asset to produce profit. So, example nga nito, if a company has a net income of $150,000 and total asset of $750,000, the ROA would be 150,000 divided by 750,000 times 100 is 20%. So next is ROE. So ROA pa rin pala to. So return on asset, also known as return on investment, ROI, or average accounting rate of return, measures the ability of the management to generate return on every peso of resources employed in operating the business. The higher the ratio, the more favorable it is for the business. To increase ROA, the profit should be increased and the investment should be decreased. To increase profit, sales should be increased and costs and expenses should be reduced. ROA is a simplified version of evaluating operating performance. It has three basic drawbacks. First, there is always a conflict on the investment definition between the corporate headquarters and the investment manager. Second, ROA is expressed in terms of percentage based on amount and does not consider some relevant quantitative data such as life of asset and differences in the amount of investment between and among investments. And third, it measures the performance of investment managers based on accrual income, not in terms of cash. So, dito a more refined version of measuring the ROE is by measuring the overall performance of the company's asset of earning before interest, but after income tax as follows. Return on asset is equal to operating profit after tax and divided by total asset, where operating profit after tax earnings before interest and tax times after tax rate is equal to profit plus interest expense is net of tax. So this ratio specifically identifies the profit generated by enterprises as inspired by use of management of assets, both of the debt and equity financing facilities. So yun nga, yung sinabi ko kanina. So, pinag-divide lang natin yung net income and the total asset. Which is yung example ko nga kanina, if a company is merong $150,000 and merong total asset na $750,000. So, ang ROA natin is magiging 150,000 times 750,000 times 100 with a total of 20% return on asset. So, next is ROE or return on equity. The return on equity is generally determined as follows. Return on equity is equal to profit divided by shareholders' equity. By expanding the equation, we could say return on equity is equal to profit divided by sales times sales divided by investment times investment divided by shareholders' equity. Return on equity is equal to return on sales times asset turnover times equity multiplier. So, example is, halimbawang ang company is merong $120,000 na net income and merong shareholders equity na 600,000. The ROE would be 120,000 divided by 600,000 times 100 is equal to 20%. So, next is return on equity measures the effectiveness of management in generating wealth from the normal business operation in relation to the investment of the owners. This ratio discourages investments managers to use more funds from owners' equity to finance investing and operating activities. It is highly criticized by several analysts on the ground that operating results is unreasonably related to a financing activities which has no direct impact to a financing activity. Which has no direct impact on the main revenue producing activity of the business. Despite the drawback, ROI is still considered as an important measure of profitability. It assesses the results of operating activities as it maximizes the wealth of the primary business stakeholders, the owners of the enterprises. Return on ordinary equity. When a company issues two classes of shares of stock, preferences and ordinary shares, the return on ordinary shareholders' equity or ROOE is determined as follows. So, ito naman yung sa return on ordinary equity na formula. Return on ordinary equity is equal to profit preference dividends average return on ordinary equity is equal to profit preferences, dividends, average ordinary shareholders' equity. So next, earnings per share or EPS. The earning per share is an extremely important financial ratio. It is computed as follows. So ito rin yung nasa box na to. So earnings is equal to profit less preference dividends requirement per share, average ordinary share outstanding. In an expanded expression, we can say earning per share is equal to profit divided by sales divided by investment times investment divided by shareholders equity times shareholders equity divided by ordinary shares outs. So, parang ang nangyayari lang dyan. Di ba dito, profit divided by sales. Yung sales na to, i-divide mo sa investment. Yung investment na to, i-divide mo naman sa shareholders equity. And shareholders equity is ordinary shares out. So, pagta-times lang yung apat na yan. So, ordinary per share is equal to profit margin, which is yung, kung ano yung, profit divided by sales is profit margin siya. So, sales divided by investment is asset turnover siya. Investments divided by shareholders equity, yun yung equity multiplier. Yung shareholders equity divided by ordinary share outs, yun naman yung book value per share. So, kapag nakuha natin yung mga equals nuns, is pagta-times natin ulit yung apat. So, EPS is computed for ordinary shares only. The preference shares earnings per share is its different dividend rate. Let us emphasize that profit margin is a profitability ratio. Assets turnover is a liquidity ratio. Equity multiplier is a leverage ratio. And the book value per share is a growth ratio. Earnings per share capture all these ratios in one. This makes EPS top of the line measure of management effectiveness of profitability. The higher the EPS, the more impressive of the business operation is. So, yun nga, yung EPS nga daw is mini-measure, yun yung nagme-measure ng company's profitability na nagpapakita din kung how much the money shareholders would receive for each share of stock they own if all of the profits were distributed to them. So, formula nga nun is yung EPS, net income, divided by number of outstanding shares. Or yung sinabi ko kanina, yung pag-times, i-divide natin yung apat, tapos yung total is yung apat sa baba, ipagta-times lang natin sila. So, mahalaga yung EPS na yon because it is a direct indicator of a company's financial performance and is crucial for shareholders as it provides a basis for various other ratios and valuation metrics. So, these ratios and metrics are foundational tools in financial analysis used extensively by investors, analysts, and management to make informed decisions regarding investing, lending, and management practices. They are essential for assessing a company's ability to generate profits and return on investment, thus shaping financial strategies and shareholders' value. So, that's all po for my part. And the next reporter will be discussing other term po. Thank you.